Hey guys, so my girlfriend shared with me this really cool find she had in scripture today, and it was so good I had to get on here and share it, which, by the way, find a buddy to read scripture with that you can just send messages when you're like, oh my gosh, I just noticed this thing and it is so cool, because it is so much fun to hear other people's perspective and it just reignites you. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes it so much more fun and enjoyable to do when you're sharing it with someone else, even if you're not reading the same stuff. So she is in Samuel, I'm in Kings, so I'm like a little bit further than where she is. She's not, I don't even know, I don't think she's doing Bible in a year. I think she's just like felt led to be in that spot, where I'm kind of going through Bible in a year in this Catholic Bible my mom gave me. Long story, but anyways, she shared with me this morning something that she just read in Saul and David's story, which I just finished reading like a month ago, not even. But she mentioned how God sent that spirit of deviation right against Saul because he was not obedient, you know? And what she noticed this time, though, was that demon that was kind of around Saul and tormenting Saul and became a big thorn in David's side, you know, was like a really big problem. He was pointed at David, right? He threw the spears at David when he was in a courtroom, and David had to hide in caves because Saul was just like, he was insane. He went insane. But because of that really evil, hard person in David's life, he walked through his deepest refinements. I am like, oh my gosh, I've never even thought about that. Like, think of the magnitude of that. How Saul, because he had this demon problem, right? Or this spirit that was put upon him, David was brought into the king's court because of that. And he made friends with the king's son because of that, right? So like, while it was punishment for Saul, God still used it in his way in such good, amazing ways, right? Like this refinement of David. And it made me start thinking about the really hard people in my own life. I have like a really, really tough neighbor, and I pray constantly for just like her to have peace and joy. Like, I don't know if she's even written in the book. I've tried many times. She hates children. So in turn, I mean, you have a family with a lot of kids next to you, and that's really hard. Really, really hard. And I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sure she has a story. I'm sure she has her own. I think she has a lot of fear because she lives alone. I think that she doesn't like change. She's older. Who knows? But either way, I think of the people who are hard in my life, her as an example of one of them, of like, man, she has refined me so much. Like, how much grace I've had to learn working with hard people. I've had to learn to still continue pursuing to love somebody even when they're very, very unkind to you or attack your children. To still show kindness and the love of Christ is so hard. And it has refined me so much that while like it stinks, the circumstance stinks, like, how good is God to use it for our refinement? And so put this across the board. Think of somebody or the people in your life that it's like really hard, or a situation. Because when she said it, my initial thought was that was literally when I went through the couple years of deep refinement. So not like obedience, because I think people can get those two confused, but deep refinement where he's pulling out all the things you want and and have clung to, or painful memories and all of that, and he pulls it all out to purify your heart, and you walk through this fire. And it is so hard. But in my process of refinement, personally, what I realized was him taking hard situations, really hard situations that I so many times said, Lord, but where were you in this? How was that good? You know, you're a good God. How was that good? Explain to me this. You know what I mean? Because I was frustrated with these not good things that have happened to me. And he did. He refined it. He plucked those out. He said, let me show you exactly how I used it for good. That while the world meant it for evil, or even your rebellious heart meant to be evil, I used it still for good, and let me show you. And he did. He showed me, and now I like love every bit of my past, even the most painful spots that I've walked through. And so that was my initial thought, was events or circumstances that were really, really negative, and how did that actually be used for my good, just like David in the caves, how it made him such a heart for his people, a servant heart, so surrendered to God as he was in this wilderness stage of hiding in these caves. And then I thought of it the next step deeper of like, okay, now this, not deeper, but like another way of hard people in our lives, how they help refine us. And I am just like blown away. Like, I've read scripture so many times and I've never looked at it from that angle of how Saul, his whole thing against David, was used for David's refinement. How good is that? Like, man, so good, guys. Get in your word. You're missing out if you're not.